TikTok ad testing. So this is something that comes up all the time because this is the difference between make and break and why so many brands, like I say, are either doing really well on the platform or doing really bad. There's kind of no middle ground when it comes to testing with TikTok ads. So my name is Ashley Wright and I run a TikTok ads and UGC agency where we help brands add an extra 30 to 40% monthly recurring revenue with great UGC creative and obviously TikTok ads management. What I'm going to run through in this video today is exactly how you can start to test ads with whatever your budget is, your content, and start to actually get results. So we're literally going to go through exactly how we set it up from a processor's perspective, and I'm going to go into exactly the ad account and show you exactly how it looks in terms from actual campaign and what you do in terms of whether something is working well, whether something is not doing well. So like I say, if you're looking to, like I say, start to grow on with TikTok ads, this video is something that you will need, and this is working really well for our clients right now. So if you do get value from this video and you like this kind of content, please do go ahead and subscribe and like and drop a comment below if you have any questions, anything I go through. I'm always checking and I'm always going through them to, like I say, to give as much value as possible. So with that being said, I'm going to head over to the computer now and I'm going to show you exactly how to test TikTok ads the right way. Okay, so we're going to break down exactly how we go about testing ads on TikTok right now. And it's quite straightforward. Like there's many methods of doing it, but this is what's working really well for the brands we work with. And we're able to obviously test rapidly, optimize, and then scale appropriately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the kind of the breakdown, how it kind of all looks. And I'm going to go into actual the ads manager and kind of show you how it works. And then after that, we're going to kind of break down in terms of the actual steps in terms of when to kind of know if ads working, not, and next steps on that. So before kind of going to that, so I'm going to break down the whole kind of structure. So what we do basically to begin with, we have our campaign set up as a testing campaign. So overall in our account, we'll normally have a testing campaign. We'll have then a scaling campaign, which then obviously would graduate testing ads to from there. And then we normally have a few random other campaigns where we're doing like some lead gen stuff for brands, some video views, all that kind of stuff as well. But the main concept in terms of like getting that quote unquote conversion, we'll have a testing campaign and a scaling campaign. So how it basically looks is we basically will have, these are obviously our ad groups, these are ad concepts. So the old way of what people kind of do and recommend, so they'll kind of basically go like this. I'm going to just kind of show you how to begin with how they'll kind of do it. So normally people would do this. You would kind of create a testing campaign, and then from then onward, you'd create your ad group. And then from then onward, you'd kind of then test, you'd go ahead and go 1, let's see if I can do 2, and let's say 3, let's say, so then basically it would be one ad group 1, and then within that ad group 1, you would have ad 1, ad 2, ad 3. Okay, so this is kind of the old way that people kind of go about testing it. And what you'll realize is on TikTok, if you go and test like this, what will happen is 9 times out of 10, TikTok will basically optimize towards one ad only, okay? So if you've literally got 3 different concepts, 3 different ad ideas, what will probably happen is ad 1, for example, will probably get about 80% of the spend, leaving about 20% in the spend going to ad 2 and ad 3. So based on that, ad 1 might not necessarily be getting more conversions, higher click-through rate. It's just how the platform currently optimizes, basically depending on your audience, time of day, all that good factors and all that kind of good stuff. So what TikTok will basically do is they'll basically spend all the budget on one and leave the other 2. So if that's the case, yes, ad 1 may do well, but then how are you going to be testing ad 2 and ad 3 if they're actually getting no spend to it? So realistically, just because you're getting spend on ad 1, you may then think, okay, ad 2 and ad 3 do not work, and you kind of scrap them ideas and you kind of back to the drawing board. So you've got to kind of play TikTok at its own game, kind of like, not just necessarily, it's kind of cheat the system to a degree in terms of being able to test accordingly, because I would say with a test, you want to make sure that your test is broken down so you've got enough spend on each ad to ad, so you kind of know if it's working, if it's not, and next step from there. So that's the old way of doing it. So how we can do it is like this. We'd have in each ad group would basically have 1 ad concept each. So one campaign, 1 ad group, 1 ad concept in each ad, okay? And what will happen is then basically, because if we're going to be separating our budget, so we're going to do ABO, so we're going to have our budget towards each ad group, and what will happen is we will then, this will then allow us to basically have we can keep an eye in terms of each ad concept, because let's say we're spending $50 a day on each ad group. We know for a fact, let's say we've got 4 ad groups, we're going to spend $200 and each ad is going to definitely get $50 spend. Whereas if you go about this way and you had just $200 ad group 1, the likelihood is ad 1 probably get 150 spend and then $50 will split between them two there. So now you've got a system in place where you can actually go away and test which ad concepts are going to work, because then straight away, if we know after a few days that ad 1 and ad 2 are working well, ad 2 and 4 have got the same spend but not getting the same conversions, we therefore know that we can obviously pause or go and tweak ad set 2 and 4 to start to get better results. So that's kind of how you want to do it. So based on this here, so we've got obviously here you can see ad group 1 all the way to ad group 6. So we recommend, it depends on how much budget you're spending. So for us, we normally recommend, we want like a testing budget to have, and then you kind of want like your scaling budget separately as well. So for brands, we normally recommend no minimum than 10K spend in terms of your actual testing, because you want to be rapidly testing, you want to be getting results and seeing what works straight away. And the great thing is, even if you don't necessarily bring in a lot of sales, or you're not breaking positive, or you're not getting the ROAS straight away that you need to be getting, you're still obtaining a lot of data, you're building up that pixel, and you're finding ad concepts. Because the great thing with TikTok is, once you get ad concepts that work really well, it's that snowball effect. You can then tweak them and you start to scale a lot quicker. So with that, what we do in each ad group, so normally we'll have maybe 4 ad groups, but then again, if we've got more budget, we'll add ad group 5, ad group 6. The more ad groups you have, the more it allows you to test and get data a lot quicker. But like I say, if you've got a small budget, I wouldn't focus on obviously having multiple ad groups. You want to kind of basically within your budget, spend basically what you can spend. I'm going to break down in terms of how the kind of budgets look, but realistically, you want to be basically spending 3 to 5 times your CPA in terms of being able to test your ad groups. That's kind of the rule of thumb in terms of spending. So realistically, again, if you are spending like say 10K a month basically in terms of ad spend, you want to break that down by 30 and obviously give you a number. So I'm not going to do the quick max on that, but that's kind of how we have. It's like $300, it'd be about $300 a day you want to be spending. So $300 a day. And again, realistically, if you can spend about $100 per ad group per day, that's going to get you the best results straight away. So each ad group would basically have as a broad target, and I'm going to show you in a second, ABO. And what we do is we basically, for testing, we're going for that complete payment. Sometimes we go for the add to carts, but again, it depends on if the platform or the account already has enough data in. But 9 times out of 10 now, because we're trying, like I say, we're trying to, not like I say, I keep saying cheat system, but it's the wrong way to say it. We're trying to, like I say, cheat the system and trying to get conversion straight away from these. So like I say, because we are testing, we normally go for that complete payment, because like I say, we're pushing a lot of budget behind it. So we know we're going to be getting conversions, and we know we're going to be able to scale quite quickly. So like I say, a lot of people do focus on obviously trying to get add to carts or trying to get view content, and that works great. But like I say, if you have great ads, you don't really need to focus on them steps. This is kind of how we do it. Basically actually lowest cost, and then ads basically, or call to action on our ads is going to always be shop now. So that's kind of how we do it. So I'm going to go over to the platform now. So I've got TikTok Ads Manager open here. I'm going to show you how this kind of looks in the platform. So what we'd have here, like I say, naming conventions are very important. I'll probably do another video on this specifically, but we basically have a doc here that basically generates this. So let's just say, for example, we're creating this here. This would be basically our campaign. It's a CBO there. We want to change that to actually ABO, and then this will be, here would be our campaign name. Let's just copy that in there. So that's our campaign name sorted. I highly recommend making sure you have a name crunch in place, whether it's the one we use or alternative, because I say this allows you to break down your campaigns and obviously start to look at your data a lot more granular, which is great in the future. So then we're going to continue. And now again, obviously ad group name, we want to make sure we've got our ad set name in place. So again, because we're going to be creating a lot of tests. So what I can say is let's keep it broad. Our age is going to say, again, depending on your brand, if you know your specific age, and obviously you can kind of break it down, same with your gender, but if not, you kind of maybe want to, like say, just focus on broad. But again, we'll say age 25 to 55, optimize account, we're going to do complete payment. And then again, keep bringing up the formula. Let's copy that there. And trust me, if you get your ad groups right, it'll make everything a lot easier. And LC stands for lowest cost. So that's how it kind of works there. So your pixel, obviously you want to select, this is just a demo account I'm on at the moment. So we've got an old clients account here. And like I say, optimize event. You want to go for complete payment. And what we do here in terms of placements, so obviously you can select placements, which I recommend, because you don't really want to be running on them. Some people go for automatic placement, but we just noticed that we get a lot more in terms of when we do select placement. Use comments you want to keep on. Video downloading and sharing. Personally, sharing's fine. The downloads I always turn off just because it just doesn't make sense to have it on, so I normally turn that off. Creative type, again, we tried testing this in the past, and it can work to a degree, but we kind of stay away from it now. But what it basically means is you can obviously then have multiple different options, but even doing it this way, we can still have the same ad concept, but then you can also have different ad copies in this. It works sometimes, but realistically, just testing, you don't really want to focus on that. And then when it comes down to custom targeting, like I say, you want to have your custom targeting basically on here. If you have automatic, that will literally make everything automatic. So custom's perfect. Location, and obviously if you want your gender, what do you say here? All. And we're going to go 25 plus basically, and that's it. You want to keep everything else broad. You don't want to focus on anything else here, because all you're going to do is you're basically going to just you're going to make that available audience a lot smaller, which we don't want to have. We want to keep that as broad as possible, because like I say, we're going to give TikTok great content. We're going to give it great budget. So we're going to then say, here you go. You're going to do the heavy lifting for us. So again, we keep all that specific like that. And then optimization goal, value works quite well for most brands. And again, we just go for conversion straight away. Value we then go to when we're kind of like scaling and picking and going further on. But to begin with, conversions, again, obviously you can try both, but the conversions and then lowest cost. Simple as that, okay? And then daily budget, like I say, we're going to be spending, I like to say about $100 a day. Got error here, but I should fix that now. Okay, so that's that done there. And then basically now what you want to do is you want to make sure that your creative's on point. So like I say, this is an old account. I'm going to basically just, we're going to replicate a brand here. So I'm going to just create a custom identity. So this is a brand here. I'm going to use, and basically here again, your ad name needs to be on point here. So again, I'm going to just remove this here. If your creative name is great, in fact, we can actually do that because our creative name is good. Have your creative name, have you submitted ad, basically have that there. So you can have ad name, so it'd be creative name plus ad name. We just basically remove all of that because obviously you do still need to have an ad name. You don't need to just kind of add that. So we basically just have that there. And then again, we have our naming convention. So we've got here, because I'm just going to use this. We've got ad, video, 3 reasons why we'll go with landing page. I'll break it down a little bit, in fact, so say, but I'll go to more depth in this later on. But like I say, you want to have your date, your product you're promoting, the creator we normally use, type, what the description is, which is one of 3 reasons why, the landing page, the PDB homepage, collection page, landing page, and obviously landing page names. This is going to go just to, in fact, we're going to just keep it simple. We're going to go home page. I'm going to go home page there. You can change that if you have different home pages. Shop now. So straight away there, we've got our ad name. Okay. Trust me, this is very important when doing this. It's broken there. Okay, that should be fine now. Yeah, perfect. And then what we want to do is then, so we want to upload our video. So I'm going to just upload this. I'm going to upload this now, and then I'm going to come back once this is actually uploaded. Okay, so now the ad has been uploaded. So you can see here, we've got our ad. Like I say, if you look here closely, we've got the same kind of name convention, because what we do again there, we basically make sure our file names has basically the same kind of naming convention as well, which is perfect for it. So then now we've got our ad as well. So one test you can do later on, I say it's not critical to begin with, but this is something that can basically, again, make or break in terms of like, you want to get them little percentages in terms of your actual scale, in terms of optimize your account. So again, obviously you can use different styles of thumbnails, which I tend to use. So again, because the one that generically is selected is not that good, but here's, for example, you see straight away, Shop and Stay Groomed, which obviously is going to be a better thumbnail than the one that was previously selected. So obviously you want to add the logo there. I'm not going to do that because that's, this is just a test here. So we've got all that there. And like I say, realistically, call to action normally is on dynamic. We normally tend to go for shop now, because the end of the day is, yes, we want people to shop now. And like I say, the whole point is getting people to a website and hopefully getting them to convert. So everything's all done there. And obviously, if you want to select this box here, it means it'll be, by check the box, you agree the ad will be associated in the TikTok's Business Creator Center. We tend to leave that off. Like I say, some of our brands we don't want to kind of be showcased on that as well. So we kind of leave that there. And then that's pretty much everything. So then all we do is basically we go ahead and then submit this here. So how it will look now, once that's submitting. So this is basically what's creating that there. This is basically, we've just done this section here. We've basically created ad group 1, ad concept 1 there. So that's simple how it looks. So we'll kind of go back here. Let's just go to the test account. Oops, let's turn it off, don't want to run it. If we see here, we've got our test. So we've got the 1 ad there, and we've got the ad, okay? So all you do now basically is you want to create duplicates but have different ads in it. So what you're basically going to do is you can literally just go ahead and copy this ad. So again, obviously in the same campaign, which is our top funnel conversion campaign. So you want to go ahead and copy that. Obviously you want to rename it if you want to rename, but realistically, all our ad group names will keep the same because they are the same ad group. So again, everything here is pretty much similar. Well, it's exactly similar. And then we go ahead and hit next on that there. And then what we do here, just to give you an idea. So now we've got our ad. So all you do here basically is just a quick way to kind of do it. You literally just want to just remove this ad here. So I'm going to delete this ad. And then what you'll do here is instead of having that one, again, I'm not sure which one this is. So let's just add a new ad here. Upload ad. I'm going to upload this one and I'll show you what this looks like. So I want to kind of show you what we have in terms of the files here so you kind of get an idea. So again, we've got our different files. Oops. So you can see here, they're named all differently. So again, you can see product, creator, video, and then the different type. And then at the end, we've got different hooks for each one. So for this one here, I'm going to basically, these might not, because I say these are just tests, but this is probably an unboxing one. So again, I'm going to upload this now. So you see how this looks. So we upload this here. And because this is unboxing, I'm going to basically just change this here to unboxing. I think it's the same hook, but we'll go with that for now. I'm going to just literally copy that just for testing purposes. So you can see the difference. So again, we'll select this here and that's uploading. The text, again, obviously if you want to have text, literally I'll just kind of take the text from the website. This is the brand here. And we'll literally go ahead, add the text there. So again, thumbnail, not too bad. We could use that because it's got obviously the product in hand. In fact, that's the only one's coming up. So we'll go ahead and use that. Obviously you can upload all thumbnails if you've got them. Again, do recommend it if your thumbnail's not good, but that one pretty much looks good there. And again, we'll just literally go ahead and select that there. Customize, move dynamic, add to cart, so shop now. And you can see that there. So again, obviously we've got the different ads, different hooks. I'm gonna just literally upload this here. And then, sorry, let's just create this here. So we've got that already there. And then submit that there. So now this is gonna obviously submit. I'm gonna show you how this looks. So basically what you'll see now, let's submit that. So we basically now have ad group 1, ad concept 1, ad group 2, ad concept 2, and this is how it looks within the platform. So here you see ad group 1, ad group 2, and then within each one, we've got 2 different ads. So you can see here straight away, we've got an unboxing one, and we've got one here that's going homepage. I've obviously not written that right, but again, obviously we'd kind of change that. Did I take it from the wrong part? Yes, I did, that's why. So let's just do this here. I'm doing this on the fly for you guys so you can see exactly how we do here. So let's copy that there. Let's make a tweak. You need to make sure your naming is on point because this, when it comes to reporting, makes a massive difference. There you go. Look, now I've got home now, shop now. So that's basically how that stage all looks when it comes to testing. And again, like I say, you'll just keep creating more in terms of depending on how much budget you've got per day. And that's how that kind of looks. So that's how the testing campaign is all set up. So now, what do we do in terms of once we are running activity? Okay, so this is how we kind of measure in terms of the actual TikTok ad testing. So what we basically do is we make sure we don't touch anything until 72 hours is gone or 3 to 5 times CPA has been spent. Okay, that's kind of how we look at it. So 9 times 10, we kind of like to leave it for 3 days because depending on the day, stuff like that. And then we kind of go through this. So again, we have multiple ad groups running. We'll then basically see if it's profitable. If it's profitable, yes, great. We then graduate it into our scaling campaign, which we'll discuss in another video because I say it's a whole different kind of procedure in terms of when you're looking to scale. If it's not profitable, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So if it's not profitable, you then basically want to look at your other metrics. So let's just say, for example, we're running these 2 ads here. And let's just say, for example, we're getting, this one's done really well, but this one here maybe is not getting any conversions, but at the same time, maybe getting a really high click-through rate. We're getting add to carts, but maybe no one is purchasing. So what we'd basically do is we'd then basically go and look at a few things because just because an ad is not necessarily profitable, there's a few reasons why. Like I say, if you only look at it in TikTok platform, that could be one reason. So again, recommend obviously having third-party tracking in place, whether that's like say Triple Whale, which we recommend for e-com brands, or just something in place that you can kind of track that. But what you want to be checking is that the data is actually looking good, but at the same time, if you're not getting purchases, you want to look at your softer metrics. So again, is your click-through rate good? Are you driving good traffic to the website that obviously is still increasing your overall MER because maybe they're purchasing via seeing a Google Shopping ad afterwards, or they're signing up to your email list. So again, you want to look at these smaller metrics. And what you want to do basically as well, what you kind of recommend is, if it is doing okay-ish, you want to basically go ahead and duplicate the ad group with the same ad and basically continue to run that. Because what happens is on TikTok, so say for example, you launch an ad. Let's just say for example, we launch an ad. Let's move this up here. Let's just do this. So say if you launch an ad. When you launch an ad, this is your audience. Okay, so let's do audience. Just to make a few of these. Audience, okay. So what will happen is basically when you launch an ad, you basically are saying to TikTok, I'm going to color both, or color these, it makes it a lot easier. So this is your overall audience. So say for example, I think it was like 90 odd million in terms of audience, okay. So basically TikTok doesn't know who in your audience here is going to basically convert. So what will happen is, say if you upload one ad group and one ad, TikTok may straight away basically, it may think, okay, we basically are going to focus on sending your traffic to begin with. Let's just make that thicker. To begin with, on ad group 1, we're going to send it to basically just this audience, okay? But what if your actual your customers are not in there, okay? So maybe this is audience they send it to begin with, and all your traffic is going to that audience. But TikTok doesn't know straight away in terms of if that is correct to send that to. So just because your ad might not be getting great conversion straight away, it might not necessarily be the ad, it could be the actual audience. So you could do this test over and over and over, but it's more like in terms of like an ad is maybe getting traffic, getting good website views, it might not be converting, it might be the audience. So say if you uploaded the first ad there, and you did it the second time round, then what could happen is basically, second time round, TikTok might send it to this part of the audience there, okay? So it all depends in terms of the algorithm, because like I say, you can't determine who the audience you're going to get who's going to get targeted. So it's always obviously trusting the algorithm, but at the same time, again, trying to cheat as much as possible and to so hopefully get more for your buck in terms of when you're spending. So that's why we kind of will duplicate it and hope that, let's say, in terms of getting sent to that audience, second time round, it'll get sent to another portion of that audience, which hopefully will convert better. If it still is not performing well after that, then maybe it's just literally as the ad will then basically go ahead. So basically, yes, so if it's good metrics, yes, continue to add it and duplicate it. If it's still not profitable, we go back round. And if it's still good stuff metrics and not good, we'll go ahead and kill it. Simple as that. So we'll kill the ad and then we'll go ahead in terms of then testing of alternatives. So that's basically how it all runs in terms of, in a nutshell, in terms of how we kind of look at breaking down the actual overall approach in terms of from the actual testing campaign, how it actually looks within the platform, in terms of your actual ad groups and in terms of your budget, and in terms of then the actual decisions we make based on in terms of the actual performance of the actual activity. So I hope you like that concept. Hope it all made sense. Hope it's all broken down. If you have any questions, always leave them in the comments below. You'll find another video around here as well in terms of that's going to be good in terms of to watch and obviously learn a bit more about TikTok. And I look forward to speaking to you hopefully in the next video. Take care.